You sold shares at the top end of an increased price range and shares soared. How big and growing do you think the live events experience business can become?
Well, I think what we have been able to outline for investors is that the vast middle market of live experiences is very big and it's still very underserved. So we see about 45% of our new event creators coming onto the platform after not using a technology platform. And so I think that alone really tells us that we've been able to uniquely aggregate many different types of event creators who just before Eventbrite haven't been served with great technology.
That said, it seems like everyone is pushing into this experiences business, whether it's Airbnb or Spotify, or you have a more direct competitor like Splash. How does Eventbrite continue to differentiate itself?
You know, I think Eventbrite has been able to be unique in the market because of our self-service approach. 97% of our event creators are able to sign themselves up and use the service in 2017, and that natural behavior allows us to continue to grow our strength in our business model. And when we focus on really being able to enable event creators and get to the core of the problems that they're trying to solve in growing their businesses, I think we've been able to do that consistently, time in and time out, and that really has grown our strength in the market. We see a lot of competitors in the vast middle market, so we're certainly not devoid of competition, but we also see great opportunities to drive partnerships. So we have a distribution partnership with Spotify as we're helping to enable artists sell tickets to their own shows.
Now, you have done a great job building the platform, but investors always want to know what's next. How do you make sure you're not a one-stop product shop?
Absolutely. So our transactional business is about 95% of our revenue today, and we're really proud of the traction that we've been able to achieve in the market. But that scale and efficiency of the transactional space is not nearly tapped out for us. So when we look at our served addressable market, we see in the upwards of 4 billion paid tickets in terms of addressable opportunity for us. We want to aggregate unprecedented numbers of tickets on our platform because that means the event creators are succeeding, and we succeed when they succeed. Beyond that, we also look at other areas where we can develop the Eventbrite platform to meet the needs of these creators as they're growing their businesses. So pushing further into those problem areas and helping to create solutions is really what we're focused on, in addition to driving the transactional volume.
Now, revenue growth accelerated in the first half of the year, but losses also widened. When do you see losses narrowing, and when do you see profitability?
You know, we reported in our S1 a net loss in 2017. We also reported a positive adjusted EBITDA continuing to strengthen in the first half of 18. And we think that really is the match of this scale. So over 700,000 event creators using the product in 2017, and the efficiency. We'll continue to make inroads towards profitability. You know, we've been great stewards of capital historically, and we think about really reinvesting in the future to drive a positive adjusted EBITDA, but also to see accelerated growth.
In the S1, you talk a lot about expanding internationally, developing new revenue streams to better serve specific countries. Can you give us some examples of where geographically you intend to do that?
Absolutely. So our core countries today and our top 14 global markets still have a lot of room for us to grow. When we look at that served addressable market opportunity, we're only 7% penetrated. So that gets someone like me very excited to continue to push into those growth opportunities, whether it's in the UK or Germany or Latin America or Australia. And beyond there, we look towards areas like Asia as being a potential expansion opportunity for us in the future. But again, in our core global markets, we still have a lot of headway to grow.
And you also talk about how you plan to strategically add category-specific capabilities and develop new revenue streams. What kind of new revenue streams?
Well, when we think about revenue streams, it's really through the lens of helping event creators create new revenue streams within their events. And so every event has a fixed cost component. And so the incremental revenue that we can help event creators produce, whether it be through things like branded marketing or promotion or sponsorships, is high incremental margin for them. And they're really sole proprietors of their own businesses. So every little bit helps.
Now, there are fresh reports about a secret deal Ticketmaster allegedly had with scalpers. Ticketmaster has pushed back on this. What do you think about that kind of behavior, and how do you ensure your own transparent relationship with customers?
When we think about driving trust, it's not just with the event creators who use our enablement platform, it's with consumers. So we see about 50 million active consumers use the platform every month, and being able to really drive trust is the core engine of growth of the Eventbrite transactional platform. And so I certainly think that, being able to extend that trust to more and more consumers is going to be a key ingredient of Eventbrite continuing to strengthen its brand equity and also its performance for event creators. And so certainly I think what we've been able to show investors is that our market is really different from the head of the market that you see with Ticketmaster. It's a vast middle market opportunity full of event creators who are creating their own content. So it's a slightly different business and proposition, but also consumer trust is just as important.
Do you think that AI and machine learning technology will make it easier to, do these sort of shady business practices, or make it harder? I mean, there has to be a better way when it comes to ticketing.
Yeah, I think that technology solutions to create fraud abatement and any other sort of bad actor will be actually an enablement for a better marketplace.
Now, I've covered Eventbrite over the years, talked to your co-founder and your husband, Kevin Hartz, and on this day, I'd love to hear your reflections on your own journey. You were president for a long time. You took over as CEO a few years ago. Talk to us about what this day means to you as we're having this conversation about getting more women into positions like yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Emily, I mean, you've been following Eventbrite for so long, so it's such an honor to be talking to you today. When we started Eventbrite in 2006, this was in a far-off dream plan of ours that we thought, we'd have to work really hard to achieve, but just one of the many milestones that we have been able to dream up for Eventbrite. And so standing here on the trading floor and knowing that I have the very sort of honored position of being a role model, and also standing next to my husband, who has been such an amazing mentor to me and so many others, is basically surreal. There is no better way to describe it. So I'm excited to get back to work, and I'm also just so honored to have so much support today.